everyone, it's me. My name is Alanna and I'm a Canadian, but I live here in the UK. Welcome, have a seat, get cozy, maybe have a hot drink. I still have my coffee. Let's see if I can finish it before it gets cold. I have created a list, this list, in fact, of 20 rules that I think are integral to British life. Rules that the Brits do not break. So that is what we're talking about today. Leave a comment down below. What do you think of my list? But you can only be nice. Don't only say nice things. Don't say mean things. Number one, always say sorry even if it's not your fault. So even if you bump into a lamppost, you bump into a door frame, you accidentally step on something that's not a human or an animal, you just say sorry. Number two, queue properly. So queuing improperly or cutting a queue is just absolutely diabolical. You probably won't get yelled at because British people largely don't like to yell at people, don't want to cause a fuss, but you will be tutted at, which might even be worse. Number three, never make eye contact on public transport. So for me, I sold my car 5 years ago? That can't be right. I sold my car a long time ago and I rely on public transport to get everywhere and anywhere. I kind of love that British people don't really make eye contact. They don't want to cause a fuss, right? You don't want to be a bother. Don't make eye contact. However, if you are, perhaps on the bus and somebody is staring at you and you just know that something is going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Like, something is going to transpire on this bus. As part of this rule, I would also say never sit beside someone on public transport unless there's no other option. Another rule that I love, so when you're on a train or on the bus, everybody's like taking one seat in the clusters, like there's seats of two. Everybody's taking one and one and one and one until it can't, there's no more empty seats left. So you start taking a seat beside someone. Only then is that appropriate. Because there is few things worse than being on the train and the carriage is almost empty and you're in a window seat, and where does that person decide to sit? Beside you. So buckle up, something's about to happen. Moving right along, what are we up to? Number four, don't talk to strangers unless it's about the weather. British people don't really like opening up immediately. It takes them a long time to get that personal. Every time I go back to Canada, I'm always kind of shocked how Canadians, you'll be in a queue for something and the person next to you just starts telling you about their personal life, and it's always kind of shocking, I don't even know you and you're being so upfront and open. I'm shocked. Here I find in the UK, and of course this is a thing I already know you guys have commented down below. I live in Kent. I think Kentish people are quite reserved. I think they're not snooty and they're not hoity-toity, posh, I'm not going to talk to you. I think largely it's just they're so polite that they don't want to bother you. They don't want to look at you and make you feel uncomfortable. They don't want to sit next to you in public transport. They don't want to talk to you about anything too personal before they know you. I think all of this is done because they're very polite, they're very reserved, not in a mean or negative posh kind of way. But I know the Northerners, you guys love to make yourself known in the comments, and I'm sure you've already done it, and I'm sure there's already a comment that says Northerners don't do this, Northerners talk to everybody and blah blah blah, and that's great. I love that for you. I live in Kent, so this is my list. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Every time I post a video, I always get comments from Northerners saying how the North is so much better. Okay, I've enjoyed all of my trips up north. I've been up north, been to Scotland and Wales, had an absolutely lovely time, beautiful places. Anyway, literally not the point of this video. Number five, tea solves everything. You just got dumped by a long-term partner. Have a cuppa. Perhaps you've just been made redundant at your job you've been with for 30 years. Have a cuppa. Maybe you went to the shops and it rained on you on the way home and you're a bit miserable. Just have a cuppa. Tea solves everything. I have only recently got into, this is coffee. I always have a coffee in the morning. And I've only really recently got into tea. It's something that's really exciting because I feel like there's so much out there that I haven't had. I love doing taste tests. If you've seen any of my videos, I love a taste test. And tea is one of those things that I still feel is very unexplored for me, which is exciting. Personally, I'll take a Yorkshire, maybe a little bit of milk, but not too much, just a little something. And I'm laughing, I'm having a great time. Only in the winter though, or on a rainy day. I don't drink tea when it's nice out. I don't drink tea in the summertime. It has to be a bad, rainy, gross winter day. It's a very specific rule, I know. But that rule is only for me. British people don't follow that rule. While we're talking about coffee, while we're talking about caffeine, a little update, I have still been doing my Magic Mind challenge. Magic Mind is a mental performance shot. They're the sponsor of today's video. I've been having mine every morning with my morning coffee for the last month now. I think we're at the full month point. And I have been so productive, it's been unreal. So Magic Mind is a mental performance shot. The whole idea is it helps you be more productive, sort of more like mentally clear while reducing stress. You can drink Magic Mind however you like. I personally keep them all in the fridge. So while I'm brewing my morning coffee, I will have my Magic Mind just as a shot straight from the fridge. And I have been so focused this last month. I've been doing it every day for a month. I've been so focused and so like productive. I've actually started a new YouTube channel. More on that later. I have been getting everything done. I haven't been crashing in the afternoon. I've been sleeping great. I've just had a really focused and productive month. And if you want to give it a try, Magic Mind offers a 100-day money-back guarantee. If that's something that interests you, I've been having a great time. If you want to try it out, there's a link in the description. You can use my link and code NAPS20. So what does that get you? A lot. NAPS20 is 48% off your first subscription for the next 10 days or 20% off a one-time purchase. Anyway, I've been doing it last month. I feel good. I've done a lot this month. Very productive. Cool, calm, and collected. Anyway, what number were we on? Number 6. This hand, number 6. The correct response to all right is all right. No actual information should be exchanged. This one is still very weird to me because when someone says to me like, are you all right in Canada? That means like someone is asking about your well-being and you should respond in a way that makes sense. But here it's very much like a throwaway. It's like, it's kind of like in North America you would say like, hey, what's up? It's just casual, just like, hey, what's up? And they're not gonna be like, oh, well, you know, Judy left me and our dog is ill and we don't have insurance and I think I'm gonna be let go from my job. No, too much information. When you say what's up, in North America, it's usually like very casual, just kind of like a throwaway line. That is the same thing I find here with you all right or just all right. They're not really asking, you know, for an in-depth explanation of how you're doing. You just say all right and move on. Number 7, never take the last biscuit. You're in some sort of social setting. Maybe there's a little party, a little get together at somebody's house and there's the last biscuit and you are offered that last biscuit. You need to say no. But if you're offered again and nobody else seems to really want it, then you may take the last biscuit. But you kind of have to do this little dance of like, oh, does anybody else? Like, oh, I shouldn't, you know, does anyone else want it? And then you may take it. Next up, number 8, never complain in a restaurant. You can complain to the people you're eating with. That's fine, but don't complain to anyone who could actually improve the situation. No, just suffer. Number 9, roast dinners are a sacred tradition and they must include Yorkshire puddings. If you do not have a Yorkshire pudding, you cannot call that a Sunday roast. That may just be my opinion, but I think it's the right one, don't you think? Number 10, beans on toast is a legitimate meal. I actually love, I don't want to start a whole thing, but you know I'm going to start a whole thing. Beans on toast is great. However, and I know this is not a British rule and it always makes people upset. I don't like soggy bread. I don't like soggy as a texture. I just find it's not the greatest. So when I have beans on toast, and my British partner is the same, so if you want to take it up with someone, take it up with him, it's his fault. We will do toast with some nice butter and beans on the side. And then as you are eating the toast, you're scooping the beans and eating it as you go. That way the toast is still very toast and it's not soggy. So we have beans adjacent to toast. I know it drives people crazy. I don't know what to tell you. It's just such a pleasant eating experience. But I have beans beside toast like somewhat frequently, especially on a really busy day. It's like I need to eat something, but I just don't have time. Toast some bread, heat up some beans on the hob. A little bit, we put a little bit like a chipotle chili or something in it. Nice. Takes 5 seconds. You can wolf it down in less time, and then I can get back to what I was doing. I know that's a really hot topic issue, but I've just said it now and we're moving on. Number 11, you have to either love Marmite or hate it. You cannot be in between. I've never met a British person who had an opinion on Marmite that was anything other than love it or hate it, right? I know that's like the slogan, love it or hate it. I've never met someone who's like, yeah, I could take it or leave it. It's fine, but I don't, no, you can't do that. Personally, I hate it, which is kind of surprising because I love savory stuff. And I've tried it in a variety of different ways over the years. I've tried it in different applications. I hate it. Number 12, tea needs to be brewed correctly. Now, I know there's a lot of people that joke about making tea in the microwave. And I gotta be honest, I feel like that is a thing that was created on the internet to rage bait British people. I don't know any single person who does that. However, it goes without saying, if you were that person, you better not do it here. And a lot of people believe that the milk, to make a proper cuppa, the milk actually needs to go in first. And you need to have a certain type of china, and you need to like brew the tea a certain amount. You need to have a certain amount of milk or no milk. Like everybody's very particular. But either way, tea needs to actually be brewed properly. And if you put it in the microwave, the home office is going to show up at your house and they're going to deport you. All right. So you've been warned. Number 13, if someone says we should meet up soon, it means they never want to see you again. They're just being polite. I think for non-English speaking people, this is going to be so weird. There's a lot of double meanings when it comes to English language and English speaking, way of speaking, the passive aggression. There's a lot of times when British people will say one thing and they very much mean something else. And I think that is really difficult to wrap your head around if English is not your first language. Even for me, like Canada technically speaks English as well. Slightly different, but English. And it took me a while to figure out the nuances of some of the phrases of what do British people actually mean. Because I think Canadians are very upfront. Canadians are kind of like Americans. They say what they mean what they say. British people like to do this little song and dance where they kind of say something, but they're kind of meaning something else. So if that's new to you, good luck. Another rule that British people never break is do not talk about money. Now, I think the connotation of this is that Americans and maybe to a lesser extent Canadians are very boastful and they like boast about money, and that's in like really poor taste. And yeah, sure, that can happen, but I think in a more practical sense, this can be a negative to British people. In Canada, it is, I would say, much more common to know roughly salaries of your fellow employees, right? Because it's less of a tableau to talk about. So you can figure out like, hey, so-and-so is the same job, they're making 10,000 more than me. Why is that? I feel like here in the UK, it's so taboo. You do not speak about this stuff. You then kind of suffer some of those consequences because you don't really understand the salaries and things going on around you. Does that make sense? So I think the gut reaction is like, oh, Americans, all they do is boast about how much money they make. But actually, I think in the practical sense, it's super helpful. But either way, don't talk about money. Sorry, you can't do it here. Number 15, don't be too enthusiastic. Too enthusiastic, too high energy, ugh. Don't do it. Keep it low key, keep it self-deprecating, okay? If you're too excitable, if you're too energetic, too enthusiastic, gross. Number 16, passive aggression is key. Kind of mentioned this earlier, this sort of song and dance. A lot of British people don't really want to make a fuss, but obviously they get angry, they get annoyed, but rather than like being direct about it and communicating about it, perhaps in a very direct sense, they like to do the little passive aggressive dance. So if you're telling a story and someone goes, wow, okay, that's interesting. It's not interesting, I'll tell you that much. Nobody can do passive aggression like the Brits. Number 17, leaving without saying goodbye is considered an Irish goodbye, and that is a no-no. A proper British goodbye takes about 20 minutes. Again, it's a song and dance. It's this back and forth. It's like, well, right, we best be off, and then you start saying your goodbyes, and then you're kind of like slowly walking to the door, and you're still saying your goodbyes, and then you're standing at the door, and you're talking again, and then you're saying your goodbyes, and it's this big, long song and dance, really. Personally, I love an Irish goodbye, and I will do it at any possible moment, okay? So if you invite me somewhere, you just need to understand that at some point you're gonna notice that I am no longer there. I love an Irish goodbye. I think the Irish were right, okay? I think we need to do this more often. Just disappear into the night. Number 18, a cup of tea should be offered to anyone who enters your home, even if they're only staying for a few minutes. Even if you don't even drink tea, you should still have tea on offer. So, you know, someone comes over, like an electrician, that was hard to say, an electrician, a plumber, tradesperson comes over for something, you offer a cup of tea. Landlord, family members, friends, neighbor, you should be offering a cup of tea, even if you don't drink it. Number 19, a barbecue is successful no matter the weather. I don't think I've been to a barbecue where it hasn't rained in some capacity, but if there is beer and if there is meat, the weather is irrelevant. And if you wait for the weather to be perfect to have a barbecue, it's never gonna happen. And number 20, you must stand on the right of escalators and walk on the left. I realize this is largely in London, but I think it should be implemented literally everywhere. It's the best system you could ask for. Blocking an escalator, like having two people standing side by side on an escalator, is a serious crime and you will be arrested. Mainly by me, but I just hate it. Don't do it. Those are my 20 rules British people don't break. Leave a comment down below. What'd you think of my list? But you can only be nice, okay? Otherwise I will cry. Don't forget to check out Magic Mind. My link is in the description, and use NAPS20 to get a really good discount. If you'd like to watch something else right now, how about this one? I share all of the weird things I brought to the UK. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye!